Greetings, everyone. Happy Monday. How are you all doing today? I am the Moon Mama. For those of you at Hillman Talk on TikTok, welcome to our Master Nodal class. For those of you on YouTube and Instagram, welcome to our Master Nodal class, where we are doing the work of shifting our reality from the inside out through following the South Node through Virgo and the North Node through Pisces. This is an opportunity to align yourselves to the eclipses that are going to start occurring. How y'all doing? That are going to start occurring, I believe on March 14th is our first eclipse. And then we have another one on March 29th. And eclipses are opportunities to, historically in the ancients, eclipses were life-changing events. And many of us are disconnected from these technologies and how to use them. And so you guys are so fortunate to have me teaching you how to do it again, which is so fun. I love it. And the thing that's significant about the eclipses is that when you align yourself to the energy, you can fast track your psyche, your consciousness. And the reason that matters is because everything here is consciousness. Everything here is mind. Everything is the story you're telling about it. Your perception is what builds your reality. The internal voice, the story you tell yourself, is what's creating your external experience. So an eclipse is a time when the earth, the moon, and the sun are in a configuration that blocks either the moon or the sun. So the sun governs the way you express yourself, your external expression. It's the masculine. The moon governs the way you feel. So when we have the solar eclipse, you get to jumpstart the way you express yourself, or you get to transcend old internal patterns that allow you to still jumpstart your external self. So today the moon is in Aries, and because following the eclipses are where the moon is. The eclipses are an aspect of the moon, and today is Monday, and Monday is the day that the moon rules. And so on Mondays I wear white because I want to align myself to the frequency, to the codes of the cosmos. And if the moon is ruled by, if the moon rules Monday, then I want to give my psyche the information that we are aligned to the moon. And how we know that is because I'm wearing white. One of the other things that I do is, and every day I've been sharing, is that I do my sacred practice. So I'm burning a coal, and I am working with rose this morning, dark amber rose. And the reason I'm working with rose is because rose is a Venetian energy, Oshun. And I'm going to get a candle. Hold on one second. And the candle for today is white because the moon rules the day. And so the Venus energy governs our sensory body. It's how we feel. It's our external appearance. It really is. Venus energy is your sensory systems. It's literally your sinuses, your ability to take water in, move it through the kidneys, and then release it through the bladder. It's pretty profound how these planetary technologies are functioning in our bodies. And the reason that I do the work to talk about the planets and our bodies is so that we begin to see ourselves through the lens of oneness, that everything is connected, that we are one with all things. We're one with the waters. So Venus also governs the rivers and the lakes, the waters in our own bodies. the lymph nodes in our own bodies that are running through our bodies that purify us and clear us out. And so one of the things that I will do when I'm working with Venus is I will wear copper because Venus rules copper. And so I have on my copper crown, I have on my copper ring. And what this does is that it helps me become related to my own sensory system, how I feel inside of my body. Because this is about your emotions, right? And it's a deeply intimate experience of understanding what you're feeling and why you're feeling so that you can have command over your emotions. This is the power of the feminine. The feminine governs our feelings. The masculine governs our thoughts. Our thoughts are always from the past or fear of the future. The masculine mind cannot actively access truth without honoring the feeling body, right? And so it's this interesting thing that goes on. We have masculine and feminine within us. And so how we begin to honor the masculine and feminine within us. Let me just talk. I want to talk about it so that I want to talk about it in a way that makes it available for you all so that it's not so heady and external. Okay. So our ability to feel is the key to our experience here in the earth realm. I see here on social media often I hear men saying women are so emotional because men are not naturally emotional. Everybody is emotional and mental. Men have more access to their minds while women have more access to their feelings. And both are required in order to have creative power. You cannot have one without the other. You need them both in order to be able to fully be a divine being. Now, the question is, can you master them or do they master you? Are you the master of your emotions? Are you the master of your mind? Or is your mind the master of you? Are your emotions the master of you? If your mind is the master of you, you want to do rituals to support you in actually becoming more aware of your mind, your conscious thoughts, so that you can become masterful of it, literally by just watching it. The same is true for your emotions. You want to master your emotions by being able to feel and not being fearful of what you feel, not being in resistance to the feelings. Get my teapot. Not being in resistance to the feelings that show up. Now, here's, the opportunity with the moon in Aries is to begin a new relationship with yourself. Aries is the will. It's literally your will to do anything. You can't create anything without willpower. And Aries rules that. And what Aries is asking, it's asking for you to be loyal to yourself. With the moon in Aries and the sun in Aquarius, it's inviting you to being loyal to your own feelings. And what does that look like? It can be a really subtle thing. So yesterday I had this experience. It was my son's birthday. I shared for many of you guys who watched the video yesterday. It was my son's birthday. And I was having a lot of emotional feelings around that. His actual birthday is today, but yesterday we celebrated. And I was having a lot of feelings around it. And one of the things I called one of my closest goddesses who we support one another and asked her to really help me get clear about what was going on inside of me. And what she said to me was, you need to set an objective about what you're up to. What are you really up to? And because I wasn't clear about what I was up to as I was going to the party, because I hadn't written down an objective and gotten clear, I was feeling like I was going to get pulled into old behavior, old ways of being, of like, I don't like this person, and this person was there, and they said that, because we're in an experience of where I'm not in a relationship with his father anymore. So I can get very triggered about just old things that come up. But I've done all the work on that, and that's over with now. And so when I got clear, I sat down. She said, you need to set an objective. And I sat down and I was like, my objective is to honor my creations. My son is my creation. He came from my body. He is my creation. And everyone in that space celebrating him was there because I said yes to giving birth to this human being. If I had not said yes, none of us would be in the space that we were in. And so my objective was clear. I am here to honor my creation and to celebrate that I can create a reality. And so, how does that look practically? How does that look? So, in that question of what is my objective, it clarified my way of being, how I was going to show up, what I was going to do, how I was going to behave, how I was going to function. And literally, because I had a clear objective, the universe came with me and everything worked out perfectly. Like literally, it was as if I had not been spent the day before filled with anxiety and fear about all manner of things that really had nothing, that wasn't even available, right? But that's the power of Aries. You must get clear about your identity and who you are and how you function. And that has nothing to do with everyone else. Like, this is your hand. This is my hand. My hand functions in a certain way. This hand has an objective. I'm a right-handed person. It functions by lifting and holding, and my nose functions in a different way. These energies are working together, but they are also unique and different. And when we understand the role of how things function, how we are meant to show up, when you understand that, then you can begin to move in that way. So yesterday, what I did is I wrote down my objective, and because I'm a Pisces rising, I know that everything in my life is out of my imagination. Every person, when I tell you guys, the man that I had a child with, I don't want to name him because I want to hold on to his privacy, but when I was 29, my mother died, and she died. And when she died, she had a heart attack. She was 47. She had a heart attack. And when she died, we were at odds with one another. We were kind of fighting over a Macy's bill. She had a Macy's credit card, and I hadn't paid the bill. So we were arguing about that. And she was like, stop it, Ma. She was like, really wanting me to pay this bill. And it was like $35, y'all. Like, now when I'm thinking about it. And we were in a big thing. And then her father was sick, and she also had a partner who was also sick. She was very exhausted. Like, she was really spending a lot of energy, and she was an Aries, and she wasn't rejuvenating herself. And so she had a heart attack. Like, she was 47. She had a heart attack. I called her one morning. Like, I had talked to her the night before. Her partner had died. Teddy, who was her partner, he had died. And I called her and I was like, are you okay, Mom? And she was like, oh, baby, I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. Like, she had been trying to get him to go to the doctor, and he wouldn't go to the doctor. And then when he went to the doctor, they were like, he has pancreas cancer, and he died within 3 days. So she was just spent. And I said to her, do you want me to come over? And she said, no, baby, I'm tired. Come tomorrow. And when I hung up the phone, I knew that that was it. Something in my soul knew that that was it. And my soul said to me, don't interfere with this. Let her do what she needs to do. And so I went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning and called her phone, and it rang and rang and rang. And I remember getting in the shower because I knew, I felt it. And I got in the shower and I showered, and then I drove to her house and she didn't answer the door. And I called a neighbor who I rang one of the neighbors' bells, and then they let me in. And then I knocked on her door and she didn't open the door. And then I called the police, and the police came in and found her. She'd had a heart attack. And then the very next day, we had been fighting about me not paying her credit card bill, and it was because I didn't have a job. The very next day, I got a job. The very next day, I was like, she really want her credit card bill paid. And when I got the job, and then before I went to the job, because I hadn't buried my mother yet, I had a dream. And in the dream, they told me, name him. This is what they said. The voice in the dream said, name him Gossett. That's what the voice said. Name him Gossett. So I don't know anything about this. And I go on about my life. I bury my mother. I start this new job. And I meet a woman who has the last name Gossett. And her son works there. And ultimately, I married him and had a child with him. And it came in my dream. So what I know is that everything in my life comes out of my dream state because I have a Pisces rising. And the thing that's important about that is understanding how I function. So before I went to the party yesterday, I realized that everyone there was there because I had been directed. I had created this child. I had married this man, and it had all come out of a dream that was born out of an experience that I was having with my mother. This is the energy of the subconscious, y'all. And so because I understand that, I had to sit down and envision. I had to activate my subconscious before I went to the party in order to align myself, because that's how I am meant to function. I understand the way I am meant to function. I must use my subconscious. I must activate my feeling body. I must see something in my mind the way I desire to see it. I must do ancestral work, spiritual work to activate it in the way that feels good to me, and trust that I have dominion over this reality. And when I do the things that I'm directed to do from a place of trusting, from a place of deep knowing that the universe is in support of me and everything works out for me, when I define my own identity, my objective as somebody who is functioning with the Aries moon, right? We all have the moon in Aries right now, and the sun is in Aquarius, and that is asking us to get clear about where you're going. Who are you here to be? And here's the thing, you might not have the answers right now. It is okay. But you do have to ask the question, who am I? What am I up to? What am I here for? And that might mean putting a journal, carrying a journal in your purse, putting a journal next to your bed so that you can, wake up and write down everything you remember. Yesterday I was doing the head exercises, right? To honor that I understand that the Aries energy is the head. And so I am open to new ideas, new behaviors, new practices that will lead me to who I am actually here to be. And when you live in this question of who am I, in any circumstance, right? So anything can happen. And I ask myself, who am I in this circumstance? How am I meant to function in this circumstance? What am I meant to be in this circumstance? And in doing that, reality comes to meet me. Reality comes up and shows me the way, so I can reach out to someone and say that I trust and say, can you support me with this? And they'll say, okay, you need to set an objective, because reality is on my side. It is working in my behalf. And that is what we are up to. So today, with the South Node in Virgo and the North Node in Pisces, we're going to be leaning more into what we're letting go of. What we're letting go of. What are we releasing? What are we releasing that's keeping us from being who we're truly meant to be? So for me, it has been releasing the fear to really be my unique self, releasing the need for external approval, releasing the idea that I need others to agree with me, to affirm me before I can really be true to myself. Like this idea that if if the external doesn't agree with me, then I will back away from it. When I was married, my ex-husband told me that one time, he said he noticed that every time I would say something, if we were in a group of people, if I would say something, I would look to him to co-sign it. And which gave him the idea that I wasn't confident, because I wasn't. But it was really was a behavior. It was really a pattern of needing external validation and authority, or needing a man to approve of something. And so I've had to do the work to heal that, because who I am and who I'm meant to be cannot be affirmed from outside of me. That's an internal thing. I have to choose that for myself. No one can validate that for me. I have to validate that on my own time and in my own way of being. So look for yourself today. What are the things that are keeping you from really being who you're meant to be? And here's the thing. Aries says you need to have courage. You must have the courage to be what only you can do. And what does that look like for you? Are you hiding out anywhere? Are you playing small? Are you shrinking? Tell yourself the truth. Ask yourself the question: am I hiding out? Am I shrinking? Am I playing small? And if you are, call yourself forward and begin to ask, what steps can I take to navigate this in a new way? What steps can I take that would allow me to be who I truly am, who I in any circumstance? And in doing so, you will discover new aspects of yourself. Like when we are children, this stuff is easier because we're malleable and we can make adjustments really quickly. But as we become older, we become more calcified. And so you have to sometimes push yourself and ask over and over and over again for a new energy to come. But if you continue, like it's like breaking through and finding water, you know what I mean? You just keep drilling, you keep drilling, and soon the water will sprout, the new energy will come. But you must be consistent. And that's why I am here every day, to demonstrate consistency for myself and for all of you. So you guys understand that it takes something every day. Every day. You don't get to go, I'm going to do it tomorrow. No, something every day. And it can be a small thing. It doesn't have to be a big thing. A small thing every day. It can be simple, like, I don't have the answers, but I love myself. Oh, I love myself so much. I am doing my best. I am listening. I am being directed. I am receptive. I am obedient to my higher self. The universe supports me in every way. The God in me that I am is working on my behalf at all times. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love myself. I love myself. All right. And so if you practice that 15, 20 times a day, 5 times a day, 1 time a day, at least in the morning, it will change your life. I promise you, it will change your life, because the work is to come inside of yourself. Everything you need is within you. It's all within. The lie, the illusion is that anything is external. Everything is within. And so the more you come into union with yourself, the more the universe will begin to open up the coffers of your own soul, and you will be released. Your magic, your power, your intuition, your gifts will begin to come on the board online, and you'll be surprised. All right, you all. So thank you all for listening. Hillman Talk on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. If you need support, you can go to my website, www.healwithmoonmama.com, and I would be happy to support you to understand how this work is benefiting you. If you want to receive the Amazon list of the tools and the herbs and things that we are using to support this, I will be happy to send that to you if you send me your email address. Peace and blessings. I'm the Moon Mama. Bye bye.